Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Quivs here. Quivs does stuff. Today we're going to be doing a very quick tutorial, guide, tips and tricks on how to deal with the Eye of Cthulhu. Now, I had actually intended this to be a piece of scripted content, but after writing my script I realized I had over 3,000 words and very little of it actually had to do with fighting the Eye of Cthulhu. Most of it was just about how to get to the level where you could fight the Eye of Cthulhu. Since my intent is not to make a tutorial on how to play Terraria, I decided that no, I'm going to drop that and we're just going to go with the off-the-cuff, my preferred method anyway, just straight up tutorial that deals with nothing but fighting the Eye of Cthulhu. If you need tips and tricks on how to play Terraria, well, there are plenty of other videos out there to do that. So I do have a few talking points I want to cover, and while I harvest these trees, I'll go through those. Firstly, what is the Eye of Cthulhu? The Eye of Cthulhu is the first boss in Terraria that you should face. It's essentially a milestone boss. It sort of lets you know that if you're facing this guy, it's about time you are on and progressing. You should be at a level where you should be further into the game, especially if he naturally spawns. What do I mean by naturally spawns? Well, the Eye of Cthulhu can spawn naturally in the world, so long as a few requirements are met. Those requirements specifically are, you have 200 health. At the moment I have 100 because it's a brand new character with nothing. So if you have 200 health, that means you've collected 5 life crystals already. The next requirement is that you have at least 10 defense. That, for reference, is a full set of iron armor and a shackle. We're not going to be doing that either, so at the moment my defense is 0 because I have no armor or anything on at all. What else is there that needs to be said? Oh yes, and the final requisite that you need is you should have 3 NPCs already. That's not very hard to do either. Now, all of these things is a fair bit of game time. You're looking at a decent time spent in Terraria to get to that level. And really, in my opinion, you should have taken the Eye of Cthulhu on much before that. So in this chest here, I prepared a few things to make the minimum level of equipment. First is some cactus, because cactus armor is the minimum armor I would recommend. Ebon wood is one better. Plain wood, or any of the other woods except ebon wood, is one worse than cactus, but I recommend at least cactus. The other thing you're going to need is an enchanted boomerang. I recommend this as the simplest ranged weapon to use. You can try and take him on in melee, but it's much more difficult. You can try other ranged weapons, but I don't really use many other ranged weapons. The exception would be sorry. The exception would be perhaps something like a low-level gem staff. Those can be relatively easy to obtain early in the game, but there's a very good chance you'll get a wooden boomerang. Now, if you get a wooden boomerang, all you need is 1 fallen star, easily obtainable by just wandering around at night, and combine that with your wooden boomerang and you get an enchanted boomerang, which increases its damage and gives you increased range. It looks like this. Very useful weapon, especially in the early game. The other thing you're going to need is unless you're going to wait for him to naturally spawn, is suspicious looking eye. Now these are the summoning item for the Eye of Cthulhu. It's relatively easy to obtain, might be a bit of a challenge, and this is where my previous Let's Play got a little bit lost, because I spent way too long talking about how to get a suspicious looking eye, and not enough about the actual fight. Suspicious looking eye, you need to get lenses. Lenses drop from demon eyes. Demon eyes? Is it demon eyes? Yes, because the wandering eye is the hard mode version. So demon eyes are just the floating eyeballs that spawn at night. You get lots of them. They harass you pretty much continuously. And there's a 1 in 3 chance that any demon eye you kill will drop a suspicious looking, will drop a lens. If you have 6 lenses, you can get yourself over to an altar. That'll either be a demon altar if you have corruption, or I think blood altar or crimson altar if you're in the crimson. that is probably the hardest part of doing this, is getting yourself into the Crimson, because if you are lowly geared, you will likely struggle in the Corruption or the Crimson to get to the altar. But persevere, you can do it. It's not impossible, it's just difficult. Get yourself a suspicious looking eye. Now, that's because you have to craft them at a demon altar. Most of the summoning items in the game, with the exception of, I believe, the Queen Bee has some sort of crafting station requirement. The Queen Bee summoning item you just craft in your inventory. Alright, so prepping the arena is what I'm doing now, and the arena is very simple. It's just a floor, some sides, so that you don't fall out of the arena by accident and have to try and climb back in there while being attacked by the Eye of Cthulhu, and a few levels, which are the maximum jump height apart. They don't have to be the maximum jump height apart, but if you do go closer together, grab a few extra levels. I normally go with a total of 3 levels. I'm going to need just a little bit of gel because I want to make a campfire. So yeah, 3 levels. It's very simple. Just this is how you make it. It's nothing special. It takes very few resources, which is why I'm just able to make it at the very beginning of the game without, doing anything, spending any time on gathering resources or anything. The second thing you're going to want to remember is you kind of want the sides to go up above the level of the arena. That's because if you're up at this top level and you get hit, you don't want to get knocked out of the arena and have to run back and climb back in again. Your arena might not be this close to the ground like mine is in this version. Normally I do it above my house, which I will build at the starting point, but yeah, of course I haven't even built a house in this one at all. Right, so minimal equipment, like I said, the boomerang, and I think cactus armor is about all you need. That should be sufficient. Cactus armor will give you a defense of, I believe, 4 on its own. At any time, if you have more defense, if you have more equipment, maybe things that help you move faster, maybe things that help you jump, by all means, go ahead and use them. They will only help. This is sort of just the minimal level that you'll need. Now, the actual fight itself, a lot of this is going to be about movement. Pretty much every boss in Terraria, the arena is somewhat similar, if not the arena, the area that you prepare if you have to fight the boss, for example, in its own biome. You're going to be going for a similar looking thing, which is just basically multiple levels which allow you to move both up and down as opposed to just up or just left and right, sorry. You want to be able to move up and down. The final thing I'm going to add to this arena is a campfire. That will give you this little cozy fire. Life regen is slightly increased. It's not a lot, it's enough. If you follow the tips and tricks in the rest of this video, it should be enough. Maybe it's not. Maybe you die a few times trying this out. That's fine. It's not, something that someone can do immediately. A lot of this is getting used to the Eye of Cthulhu's attack patterns. We'll go through that in a moment as well. So if you do die, go harvest some more lenses, make another suspicious looking eye, and try again. Just keep doing that until you get it. So I'm going to be doing this with no mana, no extra health, a defense of 4, and an enchanted boomerang. Okay, so the Eye of Cthulhu is a multiple phase boss. What that means is he has a starting phase where he has a particular attack pattern, and then after a certain point, when you get him below a certain amount of hit points, in this case half his hit points, he will change attack pattern and in his case also what he looks like. So his first attack pattern is he will hover above you and to either the left or right of you, and from his pupil he will spit out servants of Cthulhu, which are little eyes, very much like the demon eyes. They have much less hit points and are slightly smaller, and when you kill them, they will almost always drop hearts, which will replenish your health, or they'll drop stars, which will replenish your mana, which is good if you're going to be using a mana weapon of some description. The second part of his attack pattern during this first phase is he will then charge at you 3 times in succession. Now, these charges are preceded by a little pause. He will sort of stop in his movement and he won't be chasing you for a few seconds, so you know it's coming. If you're moving let's say right, and he's to the left of you, and he suddenly gets further away from you than he was before, like he stops following, that means he's about to charge. So when you see that, be prepared to either, if he is below you or above you, move to the left or right to dodge him. If he is on the same horizontal plane as you, move up or down. That is why we have these platforms. They give you the up and down mobility that you need. After you've gotten down below half health, you will reach the second phase of the Eye of Cthulhu. Now, in the second phase of the Eye of Cthulhu, okay, it's just gone nighttime, so we'll start any second now. The second phase of the Eye of Cthulhu is he will spin, discard his outer layers of flesh, and where his pupil was will just be a big gaping mouth. I hope this zombie is going to find his way up here. We'll stand over here, then he shouldn't be able to do it. During this phase, he only has one attack pattern, and that is to charge 3 times and then pause for a little bit where he'll follow you around, and then he'll charge 3 times again. Now, it's a bit easier to judge when he's going to charge in this phase because he actually has a roar that goes along with the charge. And yeah, basically just keep hammering on him, whittling him down, and you should kill him after that. Alright, so let's get started. So I might die, which is why I brought 3, because we might have to try this more than once. But the last time I said I might die, I killed him easily. So wish me luck, let's find out. Pay attention again on the way I move to dodge certain directions using the up and down. I might fill this with a few torches as well, just so that he's more visible. No point doing a boss fight and you can't actually see anything. So we'll just drop in a few torches around the place. And then we'll get to the fight. Right. Okay, the last thing I want to say is you cannot summon the Eye of Cthulhu if it's not nighttime. When he spawns naturally, he will spawn at the beginning of night. If you're using the suspicious looking eye, you can summon him at any time, so long as it's still nighttime. But if the moon is right above you, that is, you've gotten through half of the night already, I don't recommend summoning him, because using the method and the gear that I've recommended in this tutorial, you're going to need about half the night, so I've only got a few more minutes before I can summon him. But we're about to do that right now. Alright, select our boomerang, here he is. As you can see, yes, just a big eye. Now he's going to try and hover up there above me. Oh, and there was one of his charges that I kind of missed. Alright, already taking a bit of damage here, which is not ideal, but oh well. So that's not a good example of how you're supposed to be dodging, but yeah, you can dodge. Hopefully I don't die, because that would be really silly. Now, if you do die, he will... There you go, see, I dodged down, and now I dodged up. And now I can dodge left or right. So yeah, just use the levels on the arena to try and stay... Yeah, I'm getting some nice hearts. To try and stay far enough away. Keep hammering him with the boomerang. Remember, if you're moving around, he's going to be moving around. So you may have to lead the target a little bit with a boomerang, but it should be relatively easy to keep hitting him. And just keep hammering away at him until you get him down below half hit points. Now, in a normal world, his base hit points is 2,800. So you have to get him to 1,400 hit points before he'll change modes, change phases. In looking for a wooden boomerang to make an enchanted boomerang, there's a very, very good chance you will have come across at least a few potions. They generally turn up in the... there's this demon eye now going to make things annoying. You will generally have found a few potions, so you'll have some health potions and some recall potions, almost certainly. Use those if you need them. If you don't, well, you don't. If you do, don't just sit there on them, use them straight away. Grab them, spend them up. You can only use 1 health potion per minute in the early game, unless you've got an accessory that allows you to do otherwise. Jump accessories and movement accessories make this fight easier, but again, aren't necessary. As you can see, I'm doing fine. Cactus armor, boomerang. 2 extremely low level pieces of equipment. Not a lot of damage on my weapons, not a lot of defense on my armor. Didn't get under him there and got hit by the servant. Oh well. Yep. And this is how the fight goes. You basically run backwards and forwards with him floating above you, trying to hit you with his servants of Cthulhu and trying to charge at you. Which he will... Okay, we're getting close to half now. He's at 1,500. So like I said, 1,400. The Servants of Cthulhu, it's normally 4, but sometimes he'll only shoot 3 before he charges. Just keep an eye on him. Okay, 1490, 1480. Any second now, he is going to change form. I think one more hit. Maybe 2 more hits. There it is. So he spins, discards his outer layer, and now he's just a big fanged mouth. And now, before he charges, you'll hear that roar. So if you hear that roar, you know he's about to charge. And that's when you really want to dodge. And then he'll pause for a little bit before he charges again. Again, with the roar as warning. Oh, not the greatest dodge in there. Now I am low on health. In this phase, he also has lower defense than he had before. So he takes more damage. However, he also does more damage. His charge, I think, looks to me like it's a little bit longer. But I might be wrong. It looks like he covers more distance and at a faster speed. But again, yeah, I'm not 100%. I just think so. Oh, geez, I might actually die. Which will be bad because... So, if you die, he does despawn. So we got pretty close there. I mean, that was almost the entire thing. It's almost the end of the night, which means I won't be able to try this again tonight because he'll despawn before I kill him. So, I'm going to pause the recording here and I'm going to come back again at the beginning of the next night and we'll try again. Alright guys, back again. So I did go for a bit of a wander, just from side to side. I didn't leave the forest biome, I got to the very edges of it, and I picked up some stuff. Now, I was hoping to find a wooden boomerang so I could go, look, see, you can find a wooden boomerang easy, but I didn't. So this is all the stuff that I collected in my quick wander. Found a gold chest because I did go down a few levels and found one of those little houses. Found a set of Hermes boots, that would help a lot because, you know, plus melee speed and you can run faster. There's some climbing claws here, plus 20 mana, that's pretty good. What else did I get? That umbrella, not as useful, but hey, it's there. Oh yes, the aglet. So there, that also increases your movement speed, a little bit of increased critical strike. I'm not going to put any of those on, because that's not the point of this tutorial. I'm trying to show that you can do it without any of these things, it's just a matter of perseverance. Now, the other thing I did find is a Wand of Sparking. Now, these seem terrible, but don't sleep on them. They've got 14 magic damage this early in the game. That's a lot. They have very low mana usage. Look, only 2. Now, you get no knockback, but that's not important for the boss. Now, that's not going to be a very viable weapon with only 20 mana. So, we're going to try again with the boomerang. Hopefully, I'll be successful. And after that fight, we'll probably pause again for another day, but I will go and run around and try to gather some fallen stars and get to, say, sort of 60, 80 mana-ish. And then we might try the fight again and see if I can do it using just a Wand of Sparking. Now, this is a Zealous Wand of Sparking, but plus 5 critical strike chance, that's not, you know, an immense change. It's just a slight improvement. The other thing I wanted to mention, because I forgot about it, is if you don't find potions, hey look, I found some potions. If you don't, mushrooms ain't bad. It's 15, that's not a lot, but that's most of a heart that will drop off one of the Servants of Cthulhu. If you've got it on your quick bar and you can just quickly use one, that's, you know, just that tiny little bit of extra health that might get you through the fight. It might not. Like I said, if you don't, go ahead and try again. It's really not that hard. As an example, let's see if we can just see if there's anything down here real quick. Probably not, but you never know. Apparently I don't have any torches on me. What? I don't have any torches on me. It's alright, we'll use our boomerang for light. No, it doesn't look like there's anything down here. Oh, and now I'm going to die because I'm underwater with no way of getting out. You silly person. I can't see anything. I don't know where I am. Hey, made it. Cool, I didn't die. That would have been hilarious. But yeah, I mean, you know, just look around. There's lots of... These chests are very easy to find. I don't know whether that's as a result of the Journey's End update, that it's just easier to get, like, equipment and stuff. I think it feels like it is. Maybe it had been too long since I'd played Terraria. But then again, I was doing a Let's Play series before Journey's End came out, and I was pretty lucky. I did find a fair bit of equipment, but not enough. In our first attempt at Let's Play pre-Journey's End update, I actually didn't find enough equipment and I had to start a new world because we just couldn't progress. We were so hampered by lack of stuff, we couldn't get through any of the bits of the game. I'm now trying to tell you exactly the opposite, that it's pretty easy to find stuff to give you enough things to get going. One of the other cool things you might get lucky and get is a Finch Staff, which is a summon weapon. The Finch Staff lets you summon a little finch who sits on your head until there are enemies, and when there are enemies about, he will then sort of attack them in a... He's got a very circuitous pattern. He might miss a lot of things, like he doesn't do a very good job of chasing demon eyes, but on something like the Eye of Cthulhu, he's actually pretty good. He's got a really good chance of hitting the eye. He chases down servants of Cthulhu pretty effectively as well. We'll deal with it when we get to it, but he's also pretty effective at dealing with the Eater of Worlds. The second boss in Terraria, he's quite effective because he doesn't bounce off things, he goes right through them. So when he attacks the Eater of Worlds, he ends up hitting multiple segments. Okay, he only does a tiny bit of damage, but he does that tiny bit of damage to like 2/3 of the segments on the Eater of Worlds half the time. But we'll deal with that bridge when we come to it, which will be in the next tips and tricks. Probably soon. I intend to get past the Eater of Worlds in our Let's Play before I deal with that. Now it's getting towards night. This video is already longer than I would have liked it to be because we didn't pass the first time, but too bad. Maybe I'll put time codes in the comments so that people can skip to the successful fight, or, you know, otherwise you can just watch the non-successful fight. Alright, waiting for the music to change to let me know it's nighttime. Not nighttime. Clicking, clicking, clicking. Come on. Waiting, waiting, waiting. It's getting steadily darker, but it still hasn't gotten there yet. Should be any second now. I could have gone and tried to find the clock accessory on one of my characters, but I didn't. Still clicking, rapidly, rapidly clicking. Waiting for the... There it is. Okay, now it's nighttime. Where is he? Oh, he's coming in here from the left side. And again, as before, just hit him. Try not to get hit by his charges, which of course means I immediately get hit by his charge, but anyway, you know, that happens. Aim for the pupil when you're shooting your boomerang at him, because you're more likely to hit any servants of Cthulhu that he launches immediately, and that's ideal. So again, see, try and keep him for his charges either directly above or below you, or horizontally next to you. That way you can just move left or right or up and down to avoid his charge. It makes it a bit easier. Again, two perfect fails there. And of course, movement accessories make all of this easier. Now, I really want that star as well, but we're in the middle of a boss fight, so I can't go out and get that just yet. But yeah, if this is successful, hopefully it will be, we'll try and get a bit more mana to be sort of a reasonable level. 60 to 80 I reckon will probably be enough, and we'll have a go at this with the Wand of Sparking. which is a really underrated weapon in the early game. It does a lot of damage just off the bat, and it can set things on fire as well. I hung around just a little too long there. Yep, we're at about 1800 health now, so like I said, 1400 is when he'll transform. Nice heart there, we'll take that, thank you very much. Oops, that was a terrible choice. Yeah, you got to make the right choice, whether to go over him, under him, left or right of him. 1600. Try not to leave too many servants of Cthulhu floating around the arena. They can get annoying in big amounts. See, that was perfect. I knew he was coming horizontally, so I went right under him, and he completely missed. Charged right out of the arena, and I didn't have to deal with it. Okay, so that is one of the big downsides of the boomerang. If you don't hit anything, it takes a very long time for the boomerang to return. There we go, halfway. So now he's at his... I'm going to charge. Oh. 3 times. With a roar to let you know he's coming. Nope, I'm cornered, that's not good. Okay, now I'm going to use a mushroom as an example of how you can use a very simple weak health thing like a 15 hit point mushroom. Alright, we're pretty close now. 600, 500. Yeah, so it's good to have both up and down as options. Any second now, 300, 200, 180. Oh dear, don't die now, that'd be hilarious. 50, 40, 30, one more hit, and that's how it's done. So like I said, guys, relatively simple. It takes a bit of work, a bit of practice, but you can beat him with no more than 4 defense, cactus armor, and an enchanted boomerang, which is a very, very simple ranged weapon. Now his drops, he's always going to drop a couple of corrupt seeds, somewhere between 2 and 5, I think. He's always going to drop some demonite ore, that's also random, somewhere between 20 and 90, I believe. He's always going to drop a few unholy arrows, also again between like 20 and 90. And 3 gold, I believe he always drops just 3 gold. Not the greatest amount of gold, but hey, that's what he drops and you get it for free, so it's not a bad way to farm money in the early game. Since the Journey's End update, I really believe you do get more money from everything, so actually just running around and killing enemies often is more lucrative in the long run. But right, that's that. So I'm going to pause the video here again. I'm going to wander around, try and get some fallen stars for the rest of this evening and upgrade my mana to a slightly more reasonable level, and then we will continue the video and I'll try again using the Wand of Sparking. I'm not sure how that's going to go, but I feel like it should be doable, so we're going to try. Alright, we'll see you again in a few minutes. Alright, back again. So what we've done now is I did do a little bit more wandering. I spent the remainder of the night after the previous fight trying to collect some fallen stars, and I managed to get my mana up to 60. Then I did a bit more wandering during the day, and I managed to find some empty bottles. Now, an empty bottle and a fallen star, you can make one of these. A star in a bottle. A star in a bottle is a lantern, so you have to hang it off something, and it has a similar effect to the campfire except for mana. So all it does is slightly increase your mana regenerate, your passive mana regeneration rate. So that should help during the fight. Now, we could try this with 60. Should we try it with 60 or should we try it with 80? Because I could put these claws on, because they're not going to make any other difference to the fight. I'm going to put these claws on. So now we have a total of 80 mana, pretty reasonable level to expect. It's taken me 2 nights, this will be the 3rd night in this world, to amass a horde of junk. Again, still just the cactus armor, still just a defense of 4. This doesn't add anything except the 20 mana. 80 mana is a pretty reasonable level. I would expect that you could get above that. You should be able to get 200 mana in like 4 or 5 nights in Terraria. It's not that hard. So yeah, any minute now it'll be dark enough and we will summon the Eye of Cthulhu again and see if this is going to work. Now I'm not sure if this is going to work. I haven't tried this. Whereas with the boomerang I was sure it was doable because I'd done it before. I haven't tried this with the wand, but we're going to try. It's nighttime now. Off we go. So now in this case, the only thing that's going to be different is that you're going to have to manage your mana and be careful not to run out during the course of the fight. I mean, it's not the worst thing if you run out, it just means you'll have to wait. See, we're already at about half mana now. But maybe I'll get lucky and some of these Eyes of Cthulhu and... Yep, there we go. We'll drop some mana stars. Maybe this Demon Eye will even help and drop some health or something. Oh dear, that's not where I want to be at all. Yeah, he's annoying. I really want to get him out of here. It'd be nice if I could get some health too. Not just mana. But it seems like just mana is what they're going to give me. So I am pretty close to dead here. I'm going to grab a mushroom early. Yeah, maybe this one's a bit harder than I thought. Still, not doing horribly, just not doing as good as I would have liked. It's harder to kill the Servants of Cthulhu because of the tiny, tiny little sort of hitbox of the little spark from the Wand of Sparking. But I think we're actually doing better. This seems to be going a lot faster. We're doing more damage quicker, but we are much closer to death already. So we've got to be really careful now. Try not to die. Okay, no more chance of getting any health or free mana. Got to be really good with our dodges. We're a little over half health. Yeah. So look, even if I don't finish this one, this is also pretty good. You could absolutely, using the tips and tricks for avoiding, making sure you dodge correctly, you could... Oh, that wasn't very good. You could absolutely do the fight like this. Okay, now I've run out of mana, so now I've got to just stand around looking silly for a little bit while I wait for it to recharge. Then I can start hitting them again. Oh, out of mana again. I can use another mushroom. Out of mana again. He's on 100 health. And one more. I just need one more. Enough mana. There you go. So that's also doable. So there you go, guys. Oh, he dropped 4 gold that time. Oh, maybe it is more gold than I thought. Anyway. So there you go, guys. Real simple. The fight's really not that hard. If you prep an arena, make things a bit easier. Look at all these stars I'm getting now. I've used 2 extremely basic early game weapons that should be relatively easy to obtain. It's likely that you'll get either a Wand of Sparking or a Boomerang. Other options you might find the Mace, which is a kind of flail. That's also not a bad one. You might find a Finch Staff, that will assist a lot. Get yourself a basic ranged weapon. If you have to, make yourself a bow and a lot of arrows. I recommend the Ebonwood bow because it's the highest amount of damage you can produce from a bow in the early game using just a craftable bow. So, I guess that'll do it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you'd like to see more of my content, hit that subscribe button. If you want to get notifications when I put a new video out, hit that bell icon. And if you didn't like this video, hit that dislike button. That's what it's there for. But if you didn't like the video, I would appreciate if you could leave me a comment. Let me know what it was about the video you didn't like. Maybe I can improve on it in the future. Keep watching, and I'll see you in the next one.